I'm almost ready to roll my V6 engine into my new lightweight shell. But before I do that, I need to change the front suspension over. And I'll run you through what and why I'm changing as I do that. So like I said, before I roll the engine in to tag the mounting brackets, it's easiest to do this suspension swap now. I'll begin by removing the top front wishbone, the front suspension upright, and everything on it, the discs and the brake. I'll take that as a unit, take this off, and bring the other one over. I'll start by undoing the brake hose. One suspension upright. And one coilover strut. Some of the differences between these two front suspension pieces will be obvious, but some of them won't be. The bottoms of the two front struts are the same. On the left we have the, well, it's not a standard Civic strut, it's a lowered one. The yellow spring's an aftermarket one. But you can see that the one on the right, out of the muscle hatch, which I'm about to put into this new shell, is height adjustable and has a pillow top ball joint on the suspension. And that's height adjustable. I can wind the height of the car up and down. I've been using that strut for 16 years on rallying and have had absolutely no trouble with it. So there's an ad for Fitex. Well, here's a bloody obvious difference. The front brakes. These are the standard Honda Civic brakes, and these are off the V6 Accord. They're one of the largest discs that you can put on a Honda. I've had the studs re-drilled from 5 stud to the Honda 4x100, and the swept volume of the brake pad is way bigger than this one, so much more effective brakes there. The differences between these two Honda factory top front wishbone arms is not as obvious as on the coilover shocks or the brakes were. They look pretty much the same and you wouldn't pick it by eye, but what I've done is that hole there where the pivot arm is, I've re-drilled it 30mm further in and cut the end of the arm off. So this hole used to be out here. What that does is it obviously shortens the arm, pulls the upright in and gives you 4 degrees neg camber on the front, which is one of the secrets to front wheel drive car handling. Lots of camber on the front and negative camber. You can get adjustable top wishbones, and I've tried them, and all the brands that I've tried so far have failed under race and rally conditions. The bolts that hold the sliding adjusters are rubbish, and also when you fully adjust the arm you only get about 2 degrees of neg camber anyway. So re-drilling this hole from there to there gives you 4 degrees and nothing moves. And I've been running this setup for 16 years and I've never had any trouble with it. That's why, one of the reasons why I prefer the Honda Civic EG to the EK, because you can't do this on the EK because those bushes are in the arm and the geometry here, the way these parts work is reversed, so you can't re-drill the hole on an EK wishbone. But on the EG, you can, and that's one of the reasons why I love them. There's another difference here, and that's with these front suspension uprights. The one on the right is the standard Civic upright. The one on the left is out of a DC2 Integra. You need a set of vernier gauges to pick the differences, but if you look very carefully at the centre holes where the drive shafts go through, you'll see that the one on the left is slightly larger. And this hub, the DC2 and a lot of others in the Honda ranges, take a larger outer CV than the standard Civic on the right. And you need the larger CV if you're going to go racing, particularly if you're going to use a J Series V6. There is a slight difference in that the DC2 front upright is about 10 mil taller, but the only difference that makes is that it pushes the top wishbone up, which in a way is a good thing because it gives you a little bit more anti-dive suspension geometry. Now by now you might be saying, oh Bill, too much detail. And anyway, I don't race a Honda Civic and I never will. I won't ever race any Honda. But the question you need to ask yourself, regardless of the type of car that you're racing, is how do you find out which factory parts you can swap from one model to your race car and backwards and forwards to get the best performance? And the answer is, you just get a pile of parts and you start trying them and see what works and see what doesn't fit. Most of the guys who found out these sorts of in-brand factory swaps have run wrecking yards, and so they've had a lot of different makes, particularly in the Speedway, have a lot of different makes of cars or a lot of different models of the same brand car, and they swap things around. So that's how they find out. They can put golf pistons, VW golf pistons, in a Ford, the Speedway, and rev it to 11 grand and it's high RPM. So regardless of what sort of car you want to build and race, I encourage you to do your research, to have a bit of a fiddle and try swapping around parts. That way you'll come up with these little secrets that will give your car the edge. And it's these sorts of differences that nobody can see that is probably why there's that guy you just can't catch in the racing that you do. If you looked underneath his car, or you've got him drunk and got him talking, he'd probably tell you about all these tiny little things, which in and of themselves don't mean much, but as a whole package, eventually they add up. That's the guy you can't catch.